Use music. Music helps with learning because it is full of patterns. Rhythms repeat, verses repeat, and scales are patterns. It's easy to remember something that is set to music, so you could sing the ABCs, a nursery rhyme, or a song to help a child. This will also help develop their language. Setting information like name and address to a song can help a child to learn vital information at a much younger age, but of course, they need it in repetition in order to do so. Repetition tips for caregivers. Teaching is the same skill over and over, and it can be tiresome for some caregivers. So here are some helpful hints. Remember that it takes time for a young child to learn, and they might need practice for new skills. It is also helpful to be understanding that children need to repeat things. This is how they learn. Add variety to the way that you teach it. Incorporate all the senses by singing and reading and writing and moving to learn a lesson or a skill. The variety helps you from getting bored, and the repetition helps the child to learn. So win-win. Remember, don't give up. Even though it seems like they aren't learning it, they are. So keep doing it. Children will learn, but only with repetition. In fact, sometimes they might already know it and just can't show it yet. You may repeat something 1,000 times with no result, and then all of a sudden, that child can do it and do it well, or even perfectly, seemingly out of nowhere, but it was because you kept repeating it for them. A positive emotional environment. Creating such an environment is the key to instilling a sense of confidence in learning. Give positive affirmations. A child is looking for their caregivers for clues and cues about his or her worth and value. It is as simple as saying, "Good job." Or spending time with the child tells them that they are valued. Provide a secure environment. Children need a secure environment before they can learn. They need to know that they can count on their caregivers, so give children help when they need it, or show them you care. Respond to a baby's cries, or give older children a routine tells the child that they are safe and secure. Make corrections in a positive way. Use positive guidance. Remember that your disappointment can make a lifelong impression on a child, even if it doesn't seem like a big deal to you. Encourage the joy of learning. Model it to the children. Encourage a joy of learning through liking learning yourself. They will want to learn more from you. To instill this love of learning, you could associate books with fun experiences, help the child to succeed, and practice narrative skills. So, if you're reading a book to a child and you add tone and inflection and a smile, or you change the voices in characters, or you have props or puppets, this will incorporate that for them. It will model it, and then they will be able to enjoy the story more, remember it better, and perhaps repeat and model it for someone else down the line. Encourage the joy of learning by creating an association between a book and fun. It's less about actually reading and more about being motivated to read. Skipping the pages to keep a toddler interested is okay. Read books with fun animal noises or different character voices. This keeps things fun and interesting for the child. How can you help a child succeed? Well, helping your child experience success is by you leading the learning. For example, if a baby is babbling, he or she is experimenting with their learning of language. Talk to them. Wait for them to answer. Having a conversation with them helps them to feel inspired to continue communicating. It helps them to understand how to have a conversation and when to listen to your words, and it helps them in general to learn the language. Practice narrative skills, which is the ability to understand and to tell a story. So before you choose a story to read to a child, know the story yourself. Scan it, preview it. If you're going to include your lesson with a story, you would also want to preview it then. When a child recalls something that has happened to them, it utilizes his or her memory and helps them to learn. Encourage narrative skills by asking questions and affirming the child's success at recalling the story or event. I like to ask questions before the story starts. What do you think is going to happen? Make predictions. In the middle of the story, I might ask similar questions. What do you think is going to happen next? And even questions that involve problem solving. What could they have done differently? Or how could the story have ended differently? If you were writing the story, how would you have written it? They might need a little help, but if you model that for them, maybe you ask and they're not sure or unable to start their idea, you can say, how about this time I create a new ending to the story, and then next time it can be your turn. And as we reach the conclusion of our lesson, I would like to review with a few review questions. I will read them aloud, and then if you could document your answers and submit them to me in a Schoology message. The first question is, what part of the brain is the gatekeeper for your long-term memory? A, cerebellum, B, thalamus, or C, medulla? Number 2, what does the amygdala do? A, houses your instincts. B, regulates blood pressure and body temperature. C, filters emotions. Question number 3, what is a multi-sensory learning? Number 4, what are 3 examples of finger plays? Number 5, how do you encourage a joy of learning in children? A, associate books with fun. B, give children electronic learning toys. C, watch educational television. And this completes our lesson. Please submit those answers to those review questions in a Schoology email. I also provided with you on this screen web resources, one of which I have mentioned this week, but they are here for you to save and write down into your notebook and for future reference, or if you wanted to explore them on a day where you had some extra time.